For the first time ever, you no longer need millions of followers to make millions of dollars. In fact, with just a few thousand followers, you can make over 6 figures every single month. Now I'm going to show you the 3 different steps that you need in order to add an extra $10,000 a week in revenue for your coaching business. So first, I'm going to go over short form content, how to actually create content that converts and brings in those leads. Then I'll move into the DMs, showing you how to get more calls booked. And last but not least, I'll show you how to properly follow up and track your leads. Now, as you see over here, I help my clients, for example, make $28,000 in a month, $103,000 in July generated, and in total $350,000 in sales generated in the past 6 months. And if we look over here, you see millions of views generated over here as well. And not only did we make those clients a lot of money, but we saved them a lot of time and energy. Plus, we generated millions of views for them, helping them grow their online presence. And we did this by doing the exact 3-step strategy that I'm going to break down in this video. By the way, if you're a coach who might be making a lot of money right now, but you don't quite have the right systems in place, nor do you have the time or energy to learn how to implement those systems, click the link below to book a call with me, because that's what I do. I take over the back-end systems and the content, all that stuff for you, to save you time and energy and make you a lot of money. Now, all of your favorite online gurus like Iman Gadzhi, Alex Hormozi, and Dan Martell use this strategy called the AMP method, right? And this is the Authority Monetization Protocol. I mean, it's what got my clients results like these. So first, we're going to dive into short form content. So when it comes to short form content, there's 3 different pillars. First is your niche, right? So who are you speaking to? Who are your videos for? Who's on the other side of that screen when they're watching the video? Then you have your content style. Is it going to be selfie videos, something like this? Or is it going to are you going to have somebody filming you like this, right? It doesn't matter. It really comes down to preference. When you're busy, when you're traveling, selfie videos are a lot easier. In general, they're easier, but they still perform great and get great results. Like I said, it's up to preference. And then your structure, right? So do you have your hook, build up, body, or lesson, CTA? I'm going to break down each of these 3. So your niche, let's say you're a business coach to service providers. Your niche, you would go even deeper and choose something like pool cleaners, right? Because if you go too broad, you're going to not attract as many people as you would if you go deep. For example, one of my clients, I'm not going to go deep into what he does because of NDAs, but instead of just targeting his broad niche, let's say it's basketball, he targets D1 athletes, right? He doesn't do basketball, but I'm just giving an example. He doesn't just target people who play basketball. He targets D1 athletes who are in college who want to go to the NBA. So it has to be the same thing with you. You have to go deep into your niche and not just broad. And you're actually going to attract a lot of people in that niche broader. Like, for example, we had somebody else reach out to us, hey, do you help? And they're still in the same niche. For example, they're still in basketball, but they're just not D1. Now, the structure of the video is where I'm going to go a little bit deeper, and this is basically how to make viral content. And not just viral content, but content that captivates your ideal audience, your niche, right? Who you're speaking to in your videos. So first, you have your hook, and there's 7 different types of hooks. You have desire, problem, question, fact, belief, topic, or a trend. And it doesn't matter which one you use for your videos, as long as you're using one of these, because that's going to hook in the viewer. A big misconception, which now ties into the build-up, is that your hook is the most important part of the video. And the reason why I tell people it's not is because we have an average attention span of 8 seconds. And in those 8 seconds, if you don't get me, like, I'll watch a hook of a video. Depending on what the person says after that hook, I will or will not watch the video. And same thing with you. You don't just scroll right after the hook. You want to see a little bit more what the video is about, to see if it stirs up that emotion inside of you, and that's your build-up. So for example, let's say your hook is, if you're a coach struggling to make 10K a month, it's because of this one thing that you're doing wrong. Then a build-up would be, and I've helped thousands of coaches just like you generate over $100,000 a month in sales. So listen up. That's an example of a build-up. Just like I said, and I've been able to help X make Y in just Z days. And then you have your body or lesson, which is really hard to F up. I mean, you're literally just giving what you promised in the hook. And then you have your call to action, which is a little bit deeper. For example, comment X for my free guide on how to do Y. And that's basically going even deeper into the solution. And then eventually they get put into a funnel, which leads them to booking a call with you. Now that you understand how short form content works and they get through your funnel, now we're going to move into the DMs, right? So they commented for your free guide or whatever it may be, and now they're in your DMs, and you're probably asking yourself, well, what do I do? That's what I'm going to break down. So we have outbound and we have inbound, right? And I'll give an example when somebody gets to, they get a free guide or whatever you want to call it over here in the follow-up section and the lead tracker. But right now we're going to focus on outbound, meaning cold outreach, and inbound, which is leads who come to you. So for example, if you're going to do cold outreach, right? I'm going to take Hormozi's profile as an example. As you can see, first thing you do, you go to their profile, then you go to the following section, right over here. And then you're going to search, let's say your main niche is doctors. You're going to put DR, and you're going to go through all the doctors there that the person in your niche follows. And then you're going to DM them, really something simple. Do not pitch them off the bat. And I talk about this all the time because a lot of people, we get hundreds of DMs a day, people pitching us 24/7, and nobody wants to be pitched anymore because everybody is selling something. So try to create an actual relationship with the prospect. And the way you're going to create an actual relationship with the prospect is by being interested in their life and what they do, and being interested and learning more about them. So for example, hey doc, how long have you been in practice for? Super chill question, great way for you to break the ice, because we want as many notifications popping up as possible from us so that they see your message. And also it'll help you get past requests and you'll get people coming to your profile. Now, if we're gonna do inbound, let's say somebody follows you, as an example, a coach who followed me the other day. Hey, appreciate the follow, Tom. You've been coaching for a while? Like I said, not pitching, interested in learning about their journey, acknowledge that he followed me, and it's really simple. Don't overcomplicate it. And like I said, make sure you're creating a relationship. You don't want to be pitching people right off the bat. Now, coming into our CRM, which is a lead tracker, and our follow-ups, first we have scenario one, right? So you get their contact info, you send them the VSL, they opt in, they give you their contact info in the opt-in, and let's say they didn't book a call. Right? They didn't book a call, but look, the great news is you have their info. So what you're going to do is you're going to cold call them on day one, and you're basically going to be like, hey John, I saw you opted in. I was wondering if you watched the video, and what were your thoughts on it? That's day one, if they answer, right? If they don't answer, you go to day two where you text and you email them. And then let's say they don't answer again. Day three would be another cold call. Now for text and email, you can just be something like, hey John, it's Jack here, just reaching back, didn't hear back from you about the video. Day three, cold call them again, same thing as day one. Hey John, was just calling about the opt-in, wanted to see if you're still interested in making money online off of your personal brand. That's another example. You go deeper, you triage them, meaning you ask them more questions to figure out where they're at and if they're a good fit for what you offer. And then day 4 to 7, text, email, and cold call relentlessly. And I recommend 2 to 3 times a day when you're cold calling. First day, just do 2 times max. Then after that, you can 3 times a day, you can call them. And then scenario 2, let's say they didn't answer your DMs, right? So we're talking the cold DMs and the inbound DMs over here. So if they didn't answer it, you're going to be like on day 1, let's say 2 to 3 days after you sent your message, your original message, you'd be like, hey John, question mark. And then, day 2, they don't respond yet. You're going to be like, you there, John? With the question mark. And day 3 is you would send a gift like this. The reason why these gifts work is, 1, it makes people laugh and it pops up like, oh, somebody sent me an image. I want to see what this is. So it's a little bit more captivating. It's kind of like a hook in the DMs, but it makes people laugh. People love this one. And if they don't respond to this one, you could literally just say something like, kudos to you, John. Most people usually answer to this GIF. You still there though? Something like that. Really simple, not too pushy, and still interested in helping them. And this over here is a go high level from one of my clients. And this is an example when you get their info, right? So once you create your pipeline and automation to add them to this pipeline, this is what it should look like. So let's say they opt in your VSL, their contact will pop up right here. And that's how you know to cold call them, because they'll be in the opt-in section. And then you can move them to triage if they need to be triaged and they didn't answer yet, or nurture to follow up, or closed or consult scheduled, whatever it may be. But use Go High Level to track your leads. It's a lot easier, a lot more professional, and it's a great way to keep track of things. Now, when it comes to tracking your leads other than Go High Level, you should be using Google Sheets and have sections like this. So you have the name, was the Calendly link sent, date of they were added to the sheet, their IG handle, put their link, their phone number, email, call booked, date of call, time, outcome, and follow-ups. And this is what that looks like IRL. I'll show you for one of my clients. Let's do a big zoom out. Big zoom out on the sheet here. As you can see, we have all the info on them, and it's the exact same sections that I just mentioned to you. Right, and we have all these leads here, so we never forget about them. We know where to go when we need to follow up on them. So that's pretty much a wrap of the AMP strategy. You have your content, your outreach, and you have your lead tracker and follow-up systems. Now, once you master this and you have automations in the back end and stuff running, you're going to absolutely crush it and add an extra $10,000 a week in revenue to your coaching business. Now, like I mentioned earlier, if you're a coach and you're tired and you don't have all the energy to put into all these systems and all these complicated things, and like I said, you're making money, but you're trying to scale, but this is kind of holding you back and you don't have the time and you want to delegate it off to somebody else, that's exactly what I do. I take over the back end for coaches and generate results, and I've generated hundreds of thousands of dollars for my clients and millions of views as well on Instagram. So if you're interested, click the link below, book a call with me, and I'll see if I can help you, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.